All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Valley Prime. I'm your host, Luke Slivkoff. And hey, we're getting a little rough tonight. We got a scruffies on because we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to get down and dirty tonight talking about financing and homes and all those kinds of things that could cause some potential problems. So I got to tell you, here's where I go. I'm driving the other day and I hear a commercial on the radio and it's about, hey, refinance your home, only 2.99. Billy, I think we got a copy of the thing right there. Yeah, look at that, 2.99. Amazing. And I'm thinking, wow, that's really good. You know, I'm in the business, and I don't know about a fixed rate for 30 years that's 2.99, but maybe I don't know something. So I'm listening, right? And they get to the end, and 2.99 rates are at their lowest. Now, I can't say the name of the company because, well, my attorney says I don't have that much money. So, so here we are, and they're talking, and I go, all right. And I'm listening to the very end with they have the, what do you call it? The fine print, right? And they're at 2.99, rates are at their all-time low, time to refinance, you know, and all of a sudden, what? They mumbled it. You could not hear the terms. You could not hear. I couldn't even make out their license number, let alone, you know, what type of loan was it? You know, they make it sound like it's a 30-year fixed. Whether it is or it isn't, I don't know. But my guess is it's probably a 10-year fixed, maybe some points involved, I don't know, a refinance. Probably have to have like 40% equity and a super high credit score, like 740, 760. But the point is, don't always believe what you see. All right? Trust a local professional, somebody that you can turn to and know that they're going to take care of you. Whether it's myself or somebody else that you know, turn to them. Don't believe the stuff that you hear on the radio. And the other part is, you know, I'm at the gym and I'm out there on the treadmill and I see the TV screen and there's another company out there, you know. I'll just say that I'm not impressed. But, you know, they come out with things like, hey, you can pick your own mortgage term, right? You can have a 22-year or a 27-year. You know what? That's been around for a long time. We all have that, okay? But all they do is they're branding this as a marketing piece. That's what I want you to understand. And the other part of that is when you're looking at them talking, they say, look, we have a checklist of things, right? You can just get this checklist. We have that too. It's called a needs list. And they say, well, wait a minute. What else can we think of? Right? And they just go down the list. Point being, don't always believe what you see. Don't always believe what you hear. Read the fine print. I'm in the business and I try to look at the fine print so that I can understand what they're trying to do. But one could maybe interpret these things as unfair and deceptive advertising. I don't know. I'm not the regulator on it. I know, but buyer beware. So if you can turn to somebody you trust, please do so. That's my little rant this evening for you. Now, Billy, if we could turn to some interest rates, I think we've got a chart here since I've talking about it. If you all look at the little blue line, that is U.S. mortgage interest rates over a period of time, and they've gone down, and they've gone down considerably. Right now, the benchmark's around 4.25%, so that's 4.25%. That's a fabulous rate. Now, historically speaking, interest rates hover around, I think it's about 8%. So we're about half of that. If you're waiting to buy, why? That's the only question I got. Appreciation has happened. You know, rates are continuing to climb slowly. The market's healing. You know, we went through some pretty torrential times, but those times are those winds are kind of behind us now, and we're looking forward into a healthier market. And before we bring on our first guest who's going to talk about some of this stuff, we're going to come back to you in just a couple minutes here after we hear these important words from our sponsors. Don't go away.
Confused about Medicare? Are you just becoming eligible for Medicare benefits? Or are you losing your retiree health coverage? Let us help. Kirby Insurance Services is licensed and trained to help you find a health plan that best suits your needs and, more importantly, your budget. Kirby Insurance Services proudly represents numerous Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement companies offering a variety of insurance products. Located at Van Ness and Olive in the Mike Briggs Properties building in the Tower District, Kirby Insurance Services will help you navigate through your healthcare options. Call 559-824-0110 to schedule a no-cost insurance review or speak with a licensed broker. Again, that number is 559-824-0110. What's new at the Fulton 55? Fulton 55 is Fresno's hottest venue at Fulton and Divisadero.
You need your carpets cleaned, but you don't have a lot of money. The solution is JRT Carpet Cleaning. Clean up to 3 bedrooms, living room, and hall for just $99. Let the professionals do the job. Call JRT Carpet Cleaning today.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Before you call one of those discount insurance places, you should know the facts. Fresno's CCIS can get you up to a 26% discount on your car, homeowners, and life insurance needs. Call 320-2247 or go to ccisinsurance.com.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Hello, I'm Shelley at Horn Photo, and it's time to do more with your pictures. Get those images out of your camera, off your computer, and rescued from deep within your phone, and turn them into memorable photo keepsakes and gifts. Here at Horn Photo in Fresno, we have many wonderful photo items that we produce in-house, and we're here to help you find your individual style. So now's the time. Stop by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at Blackstone and East, or visit us online at hornphoto.com to explore the possibilities.
Open house this Sunday, 815 East McKinley, near Maroa. You can own this house for $1,800 a month. There's a whole apartment in the back that you can rent out for $1,200 a month and live in this house for $600 a month. Open house this Sunday. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
Welcome back to CentralValleyTalk.com. I'm Mike Scott.
Vincent, thanks for coming in today.
I know it's Michelle again.
Michelle, Miss Stasis.
Guy Adams joins me once again. How are you, Guy? Good to see you.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
She's my old friend, not meaning age. We go way back. Miss Beverly Rain.
Watch the Central Valley Talk Hour, weekdays on Digital Channel 33.2. Weekdays at 3 p.m. All local, all live, all the time.
So we'll be back with more on CentralValleyTalk.com.
We'll see you next week.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
All right, welcome back everyone to Valley Prime. I'm your host, Luke Slivkoff. And in this segment, we have the honor of a really well-respected realtor in our community, Mr. Don Scordio from Realty Concepts. Don, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much, Luke.
All right.
I'm excited about this.
Good. Don is a very well-respected realtor in the community, and he has brought many years of experience with him. So to talk about something that's very passionate and very dear to his heart, and that is?
Protecting the equity in a home. Okay. And I have a personal reason why that's one of my passions.
All right.
My family they did lose some property through condemnation many years ago. Okay. And it meant a lot to my uncle because he had property taken away from him during World War II in Italy. And so when it happened again, he was devastated. And I saw that. And about the same time, my mom got a foreclosure notice on our home when I was a kid. And I know what that was like to go through. But she taught us some good lessons.
All right.
She bailed it out. She got a second job. She borrowed a little money from an uncle, and she showed us what it's like not to quit. And so that is one of my passions, is protecting your property.
Okay. That's a good story. You know what? And it kind of goes with, I went to a luncheon today and we talked about successful thinking and empowering people and not giving up and having that spirit and that will to continue. And that human spirit that just goes like she did, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was a great lesson to teach her kids.
So what kind of things can you do, if we fast forward a little bit to today, what can you tell our people out there?
Well, rather than fast forward, we only have to look backwards at what happened 10 years ago.
Oh.
10 years ago, and it's starting to happen again because equity has grown. And just like you were talking about in the first segment, where there's commercials about, hey, use your home equity, pay off your credit cards, buy that boat, take the big vacation. But don't forget, you're paying for that on 30 years. And it...
But doesn't that sound like a good deal? I mean,
why
should I go buy a
great.
motorhome and pay, $1,000 a month? I could put it on my home loan, and just pay $100 a month.
Yeah, sounds great, except that $100 a month is going to go for 30 years, not for the short term.
Exactly.
And what if you got, something happened, like you lost your job or you got cut back in hours? Now you've mortgaged your home. That's got to be your number one place.
You need a place to live.
Yeah, you do. And that's the mistake that was made so badly 10 years ago. And many lenders were pushing it, and especially online. And keep in mind that 10, 15 years ago, that was our country's first go-around with online commerce.
Yeah,
the real estate industry did not have online commerce back in the 80s or the 90s. All of a sudden, the 2000s come, and people were refinancing online because they thought they could save money, but they didn't have the local person to sit in front of the desk and advise them.
I think it almost came to a point where you could almost buy a house sight unseen from an online company. That I think was coming if this crash didn't happen.
Yeah. I had somebody from Kentucky wanted to buy a home, and they said, well, I've seen the pictures online.
I almost like to say Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Hey, it is dinner time. No, you shouldn't make me hungry.
I'm sorry about that. All right, Kentucky.
And they were ready. They wanted to buy the home online. When they actually came out here and they saw that the home wasn't in as great a condition as those 10 pictures showed, well, and I told them, those pictures online are advertisements. They're not disclosures.
Yeah.
They ended up not buying the home. And it was a wise move for them, because it was a bit of a fixer, and that's not what they were in the market for.
TLC, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that in mind, let's take a look at that first slide there with the two pie charts there. And what are we looking at? So the other one, Billy.
The other one, yeah. Back in 2008, 2009, and 2010, the Fresno Association of Realtors had the question about where did all these foreclosures come from? So we did a survey, and we found out that 54% of the foreclosures were from refinancing, not from purchasing a home. So I think our industry got a bad rap because they said, people were buying way too much home. But that was, more than half the foreclosures were from careless refinancing.
I got to share something with you. I went to our local title company, and this is probably, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And I had them pull a report in Clovis, and I said, show me how many homes in Clovis have not refinanced since, I think it was like 1998 to 2005. And I said, who has not refinanced? 4 homes.
Wow.
4 homes in a 6 or 7 year span in Clovis had not refinanced. Everybody else refinanced. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was almost epidemic. The other thing we found is that the amount of times that those people who lost their home in foreclosure did refinance was 2.1 times. So they didn't just do it once, they did it twice. And if you go to that second chart, that's where we carve up. You see the 51% there are cash out refinances. That's where they refied and used up their equity and pulled it out and paid off, maybe bought a boat, took a vacation. The 3%, which is not very much at all, were refinances, but those were the ones who just refinanced to get a better rate and term. Now here's something very interesting. If you look at the blue ones there.
The dark blue or the light blue?
Well, let's look at the light blue first.
All right.
18% of the foreclosures were we found the home in our multiple listing service, which means they had professional representation.
Okay.
But that bigger portion there, the 28%, were people that bought through private parties or without professional representation. So if you think about it, let's say we were to go back in time and change the scenarios and people dealt with across the table with professional representation. For example, a local loan officer, a local realtor.
Okay.
If we only had 18% of those foreclosures, we would not have had a foreclosure crisis.
No.
Our prices wouldn't have, our equities wouldn't have plummeted.
So many times when people get into real estate, and correct me if I'm wrong,
I will.
They all of a sudden become instant, it's a funny industry. Like if you go to get a heart operation, you don't tell the surgeon how to operate. If you go fly in an airplane, you don't tell the pilot how to fly the plane. However, I don't understand this, but in real estate, as soon as they go in a transaction, my uncle knows this, they become an instant loan officer, they become instant real estate expert. I don't know how it happens, but that crown just pops out of nowhere.
Yeah. And that's
it's unfortunate.
That's the one I hear sometimes is, I had a license 20 years ago, so I know what I'm talking about. And they may remember some of the terms, but every market is different. Every era is different.
It is.
And so you need to get the professional help of someone who's working full-time and in it locally.
Absolutely. Full-time. Did you hear what he said? Full-time.
I also said locally.
And locally, yes. So, because real estate is local, lending may be a little bit more continental. We can move money here and there with a push of a button, but realistically, real estate is something tangible. People got to see it and what they want to do with it. Touch it, feel it, appreciate it. Any other closing words here while we're talking about foreclosures and all that?
Sure. Looking way back again, I'm still going to say buy real estate because I look back at, I passed up an opportunity to buy a beautiful home for $42,000 many, many years ago. That property's probably worth $400,000 now. So the way to protect your equity is to also buy some.
That's
you can't protect it if you don't have it.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come back with Don Scordio just after this break. Stay tuned.
Confused about Medicare? Are you just becoming eligible for Medicare benefits? Or are you losing your retiree health coverage? Let us help. Kirby Insurance Services is licensed and trained to help you find a health plan that best suits your needs and, more importantly, your budget. Kirby Insurance Services proudly represents numerous Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement companies offering a variety of insurance products. Located at Van Ness and Olive in the Mike Briggs Properties Building in the Tower District, Kirby Insurance Services will help you navigate through your healthcare options. Call 559-824-0110 to schedule a no-cost insurance review or speak with a licensed broker. Again, that number is 559-824-0110. Hiring great talent is essential to your business. However, it's also time-consuming, and time is money. Contact Wolf Recruiting of Fresno and gain access to candidates you will not find on the open job market. Candidates through Wolf Recruiting are considered the best of the best. Why? Because they're gainfully employed. Whether it's technology, accounting, sales, or general administration, Wolf Recruiting's versatile background brings a solid foundation to confidentially identifying the very best talent. Call Wolf Recruiting at 877-589-9441 or find us on the web at wolfrecruiting.com.
You need your carpets cleaned, but you don't have a lot of money. The solution is JRT Carpet Cleaning. Clean up to 3 bedrooms, living room, and hall for just $99. Let the professionals do the job. Call JRT Carpet Cleaning today.
Open house this Sunday, 815 East McKinley, near Maroa. You can own this house for $1,800 a month. There's a whole apartment in the back that you could rent out for $1,200 a month and live in this house for $600 a month. Open house this Sunday. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
Before you call one of those discount insurance places, you should know the facts. Fresno's CCIS can get you up to a 26% discount on your car, homeowners, and life insurance needs. Call 320-2247 or go to ccisinsurance.com.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
What's new at the Fulton 55? Fulton 55 is Fresno's hottest venue at Fulton and Divisadero.
Open house this Saturday, 7752 North 8th Street near Millbrook. If you've been on your job or in your industry for a year, you can buy this home for under $1,200 per month. Stop by our open house this Saturday at 1. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Valley Prime. And I've got Don Scordio here from Realty Concepts, one of the premier real estate companies in our valley, talking to you today about our trends, I think, and what's been going on in our marketplace so that you can better understand what your house is worth and what your neighborhood's trends are doing. So, Don, take it away. What are we talking about?
Well, sometimes people ask me, how's the real estate market doing today? And my honest opinion is we're almost back to normal. But we haven't been normal for 14 years, so it's hard to remember what that was, because we had the big boom in the early 2000s, then we had the big downward spiral, and now the last couple, 3 years, we've been recovering. And price-wise, I'll give you an example. In 2012, for the median home price for the first 3 quarters of the year in Fresno County was right at $173,000.
In what year? 2000?
2012. And I said I gave you the wrong year or the wrong amount. It was 147,000.
Okay.
In 2013, it rose to 173,000, about a 15% rise.
30,000 or so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, for the first 3 quarters of 2014, it's risen about 13%, up to 200,000. So you could see how our equities are solidifying. Now, somebody might say, well, gosh, prices are going way up. But don't forget, we were there before. Prices were there before. They were, I believe, artificially dropped when the banks started unloading a lot of foreclosures. And they didn't sell anything in very good condition. And, and condition means a lot to price.
It does. So, how many people come and they say, my house is better than their house? I keep mine immaculate. I have granite counters, and they just got, that old stuff over there, right? That's what clients always say. Yeah.
Almost everybody.
Yeah. You know, it's just like cars, people. You go buy a car and, you know, you trade in your car and you think your used car is worth this and their new car is worth this, but it's really the opposite, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the best way to get a valuation on your home in the current market is have somebody who can walk inside the home, meaning a local realtor,
Okay.
give you that valuation. People say, well, I went online and went click, 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 and I found my value. It's not that easy, because when you go click, 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 they don't know the condition of your home, and that could be a 10 to 20% swing in value right there. They don't know if you have an old roof or a new roof.
Yeah.
They just have about 8 to 10 basic numbers that they get off county records.
You know, and sometimes a highway or a dividing road makes a big difference in value. But the click, click, click doesn't know the difference. It just says within a certain square mile or quarter mile or whatever.
Right.
But
yeah.
it could, you know, if we're south of Herndon, north of Herndon, you know, as an example, that could make a huge difference in value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a client ask me, well, how can you do a better job than the computer model? I said, because I can walk inside your home and see it.
Now, Don, with the values appreciating, are they still on that trend right now?
Yeah, but I see it normalizing a little bit, and that's why I say we're getting back to normal.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, what made prices rise the last couple of years is that there were more buyers than there were sellers. That is getting a little bit more in balance. You don't see the multiple offers that we saw 2 years ago as much. You
Right.
still see them.
Not as much.
Not as much, yeah. So the great part is that a buyer can negotiate without feeling the heat of somebody's footsteps.
Interesting. You know, one quick thought is when we look at prices, you know, traditionally I think they rise about, in real estate, 3 to 4% a year is probably a normal, healthy market.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. All right. And I think we're going to that, you know, slowly. But Fresno's a little bit more dynamic.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's because we have a lot more room to grow, because 10 years ago, we were growing at about 25% a year, which is way off that 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Then we dropped about 20% a year. And that was...
For a couple of years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really hard. And then you see the last couple of years, 15 and 13. And I would really suspect this year it'll be under 10%, which is getting closer to normal.
Right. Now, when somebody wants to sell their home, what do you recommend? How should they prepare their home for you know, a realtor to come in and do an assessment, for an appraisal to be done, for people to be walking in and previewing the home? What should they do? Is there any good steps?
Sure. I think step number one, contact the realtor that you're going to use and have the realtor give their take on what's important to a potential buyer. I had a lady today say, well, I don't understand why people can't visualize a home without, you know, all our stuff in it. And because she can't. I said, well, that's very good, but there are a lot of buyers that can't. You know, this is 20, 30 years ago, I don't think I could. Now, I've gotten to the point now in my career where I can visualize things a little better, but I was one of those buyers too, where...
A lot of clutter?
Yeah, I couldn't see past it.
That's true. That's very true. All right, Don. Now, you've got a couple listings that you'd like to showcase for us here. The first one is in Mountain View. What is that address there?
Well, the address on that is 17201 North Mountain View, and that one is in the Rolling Hills area. Rolling Hills is just north of Children's Hospital, across the river in Madera County. The nice part about that is that's the country. You're living out there. There's no street lights, no sidewalks.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very nice, but
Quiet.
yet you're 5 minutes from River Park. This one's got a swimming pool.
Oh,
The
yeah.
yard needs a little water, but it'll need someone to live in there and do it.
Nice. Needs a little love.
Yeah, and it's priced at $290,000. Then we have another one here. This one is in Northwest Fresno at 6142 North Blosser, and that one's priced at $249,900. I love this house. This one, there's not a thing you could do to it that hasn't already been redone.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, big yard. It's got a newer roof, dual pane windows, new dual pack, hardwood floors, granite countertops.
Nice landscaping.
Yeah, yeah,
Well kept.
very well.
Somebody loved that home.
Yes, including me, the realtor.
Yeah. So now we need somebody else to love that home. Correct?
Yes, and we'll find one.
All right.
Thanks
Don.
to this TV show.
Ah, there we go. Now, Don, you also have a little bit of a radio show as well on real
Yes,
estate.
I do.
Tell us about it.
Well, every Saturday morning for the last 6.5 years, we have had a show on, started off on Kino, and then they merged, went to 50,000 watts, and then merged again, and now it's on ESPN. So my two passions in life, real estate and sports. And
there
it's
you
all
go.
comes together for me. But every Saturday from 9 to 10 on 940 a.m., and we talk real estate, and sometimes we even have lenders on the show.
Oh, my.
Talking financing. We've had home inspectors, termite inspectors, other realtors. We've even had some of our elected officials come to the show, our city councilmen,
Nice.
our state assemblymen, to talk about housing issues.
It's important. It's very important.
Yes, it is. And it's a show that I love doing. I had no radio background whatsoever. And then my first show, I think, oh my gosh, I was so nervous and scared.
You're natural. Don't worry about it. Now, if people want to get a hold of you, Don, how can they do that?
Easiest way is just call me, 490-1590, or my email address is very easy. It's just my name, Don Scordino @realtyconcepts.com.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Don. It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun.
We hope that you've all gotten great information on this, and we look forward to talking with you soon. So stay tuned. Our next segment with Josh Wright from the Tasting Room, going to pour up some nice wine for us.
Confused about Medicare? Are you just becoming eligible for Medicare benefits? Or are you losing your retiree health coverage? Let us help. Kirby Insurance Services is licensed and trained to help you find a health plan that best suits your needs and, more importantly, your budget. Kirby Insurance Services proudly represents numerous Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement companies offering a variety of insurance products. Located at Van Ness and Olive in the Mike Briggs Properties Building in the Tower District, Kirby Insurance Services will help you navigate through your healthcare options. Call 559-824-0110 to schedule a no-cost insurance review or speak with a licensed broker. Again, that number is 559-824-0110. What's new at the Fulton 55? Fulton 55 is Fresno's hottest venue at Fulton and Divisadero.
You need your carpets cleaned, but you don't have a lot of money. The solution is JRT Carpet Cleaning. Clean up to 3 bedrooms, living room, and hall for just $99. Let the professionals do the job. Call JRT Carpet Cleaning today.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Before you call one of those discount insurance places, you should know the facts. Fresno's CCIS can get you up to a 26% discount on your car, homeowners, and life insurance needs. Call 320-2247 or go to ccisinsurance.com.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call solar negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call solar negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Hello, I'm Shelley at Horn Photo, and it's time to do more with your pictures. Get those images out of your camera, off your computer, and rescued from deep within your phone, and turn them into memorable photo keepsakes and gifts. Here at Horn Photo in Fresno, we have many wonderful photo items that we produce in-house, and we're here to help you find your individual style. So now's the time. Stop by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at Blackstone and East, or visit us online at hornphoto.com to explore the possibilities.
Open house this Sunday, 815 East McKinley, near Maroa. You can own this house for $1,800 a month. There's a whole apartment in the back that you can rent out for $1,200 a month and live in this house for $600 a month. Open house this Sunday. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
Back to CentralValleyTalk.com. I'm Mike Scott.
Vincent, thanks for coming in today.
No, it's Michelle again.
Michelle, Miss Stasis.
Guy Adams joins me once again. How are you, Guy? Good to see you.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
She's my old friend, not meaning age. We go way back. Miss Beverly Rain.
Watch the Central Valley Talk Hour, weekdays on digital channel 33.2. Weekdays at 3 p.m. All local, all live, all the time.
So we'll be back with more on CentralValleyTalk.com.
We'll see you next week.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Valley Prime. And we have a special guest this evening to kind of lighten things up, Mr. Josh Wright from the Tasting Room here in Fresno. Welcome, Josh.
Hey, thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You know, Josh is a wine expert, and I don't know if there's a fancy term for wine expert.
There is, but I am not one. That would be sommelier, and you have to go through rigorous testing. It's a lot of work and a lot of studying and a lot of drinking, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
Wow. But I think you have to learn how to pronounce that word.
Yeah, that's probably the toughest part of the whole deal.
Absolutely. So, Josh, you know what? We've got some 4 bottles of fabulous wine sitting in front of us, but before we talk about that, can you kind of give everybody a sense of, you know, when would you have a red wine versus a white wine, per se?
I'm a big believer in drinking what you like. So you have a red wine or a white wine whenever you please. That's kind of the way that I like to approach wine.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people like the classic, you know, and going back to the old world in Italy and France, wine is inextricably tied with food.
Okay. I'm old? No.
Old world,
Old
not
world.
old people.
Oh, okay. Now we're clear. Okay.
But wine is always going to be inextricably tied with food because it's in that one experience where they both come together.
Well, it is a fruit.
It is.
It is
absolutely.
a fruit, right?
Absolutely.
You're supposed to have your portion of fruit every day.
Yeah,
so there
very,
you go.
very important. But with wines, I like to come at them with a very laid back and education type feel to the way that I present wines and I present myself. And I think that's very important to give people, to make them comfortable, because it's a big world.
I was just getting comfortable there.
Hey, relax.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so red wine, we kind of think about, what, more heartier type foods?
Absolutely. So red wines are going to go with your, an easy way to do it is red wine with red meat. Tends to work really well.
Yeah.
And also red wine can go with pork, can go with red sauce pastas. And also one of my favorites is with a cheese plate and charcuterie, salami, prosciutto, things like that are some of my personal favorites to drink with red wine.
Maybe lamb.
Oh,
Lamb. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And red kind of, it's nice in the winter, it seems like, because it's a little more, I don't know, it
much
just kind of
so.
gives you like a cozy feel.
Yeah, absolutely. That warming sensation is a beautiful part of drinking red wine, and it does kind of make sense that red is a little bit fuller bodied and a little bit more on the palate, so it makes sense that'd be in wintertime, whereas the white wines tend to be a little leaner, a little crisp and fresh, and those are perfect for the warm Fresno summer days.
Right. And with white wine, what kind of foods would you normally pair with white wine?
White wine can be, one of the classic pairings is obviously seafood. The high acid in white wines tends to work really well with seafood flavors. Also, salads, chicken, soft cheeses tend to work the best with white wine, whereas hard cheeses tend to work the best with red wine.
So what's an example of a soft cheese versus a hard cheese?
Soft cheese would be something like a brie, or something like mascarpone, goat cheese. Those would all be soft cheeses compared to your cheddars and your Goudas and things of that nature, which would be the harder cheeses.
Interesting. Didn't know that part. All right. Now, proper storage of wine. Do you have any suggestions for people?
What they call it cellar temperature. And cellar temperature, which all wine is can be stored at, is 55 degrees. And also in the cellar, you're supposed to have a decent amount of humidity, something in between 60 and 70% humidity in your cellar.
Do you want the bottles to sweat?
Not sweat. They shouldn't
okay.
be. They shouldn't be that cold. We don't want them that cold. But for white wines, you can put them in a regular fridge, which is around 42 degrees for a regular refrigerator, and that's perfectly fine. I tend to find that with red wine, it's better to do it at 55 degrees because that's closer to the red wine serving temperature. And serving temperature for red and white is a little different. For white wine, it's anywhere between 40 degrees, really, really cold, versus about 55 degrees. Some people like their white wine a little bit warmer.
Now, does it matter on the sugar content of the wine and how cold you should serve it? Like say a dessert wine, versus maybe a Chardonnay that's a little drier.
Certainly, and I think though that it does kind of get into the personal preference realm.
Okay.
Some people like their white wine to be ice cold. Some people will put ice in their wine as well to get it colder.
Is that ice wine? Is that called ice wine?
Not quite, but you could call it that. I like.
Okay,
that.
as ice wine's different, right?
Yeah, ice wine's a crazy phenomenon. I'll explain it really briefly, but
Okay.
essentially, it's in the winter in colder climates. The grapes will actually freeze. And then they press the grapes. So the sugars concentrate, and what gets squeezed out of that grape as it's pressed is what they call a nectar. So it's this highly, highly concentrated, very sweet nectar, and that goes in to be fermented, and that's what's put in the ice wine.
Interesting.
Fascinating deal, but they are quite expensive because of the labor intensity that goes into it.
I believe it. Now, you know what? When we look at a bottle of wine, if I could take this one for
Certainly.
example, we see an alcohol content. This one says 14.1. What does that mean aside from the happy effects of it?
Right.
But is the alcohol content, does it correspond with the quality of the wine?
Short answer is no. There's plenty of great wines that have very high alcohol, and there's plenty of bad wines that have very high alcohol, and vice
Okay.
versa. The higher alcohol, and I would probably consider high alcohol, really anything over 14%, is more of something that's occurred in the New World in wine. So in the United States, in New Zealand, in Australia, in parts of South America is what is considered the New World. Those wines, those will be... how can I say? Those wines will be a little bit, they're just different. Just the winemaking focuses on different things versus New World versus the Old World, which is Europe,
Okay.
essentially.
Old world be France and
Italy,
and stuff like-
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Interesting. Now, if I wanted to chill a white wine, what's the most appropriate way I should be chilling a white wine?
Appropriate? There's a few things are appropriate. You
Okay.
can just throw it in the refrigerator if you have the time. But if you need to bring a white wine to temperature really quickly, my favorite thing to do is put it in an ice bucket with ice and water. And if you really want to chill it down quickly, you can actually add in a little table salt.
Yeah.
And that scientifically reacts. I'm just going to say scientifically because I don't know.
Works for me.
But it scientifically reacts to chill it down even quicker. So if you put a room temperature bottle in an ice bucket, in about 10 to 15 minutes, it will be ice cold and ready to crack.
Interesting. It's kind of like ice cream. You put the salt in the ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
interesting.
Similar deal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we're not done with wine yet because it's important. So we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Confused about Medicare? Are you just becoming eligible for Medicare benefits? Or are you losing your retiree health coverage? Let us help. Kirby Insurance Services is licensed and trained to help you find a health plan that best suits your needs and, more importantly, your budget. Kirby Insurance Services proudly represents numerous Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement companies offering a variety of insurance products. Located at Van Ness and Olive in the Mike Briggs Properties Building in the Tower District, Kirby Insurance Services will help you navigate through your healthcare options. Call 559-824-0110 to schedule a no-cost insurance review or speak with a licensed broker. Again, that number is 559-824-0110. What's new at the Fulton 55? Fulton 55 is Fresno's hottest venue at Fulton and Divisadero.
You need your carpets cleaned, but you don't have a lot of money. The solution is JRT Carpet Cleaning. Clean up to 3 bedrooms, living room, and hall for just $99. Let the professionals do the job. Call JRT Carpet Cleaning today.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Before you call one of those discount insurance places, you should know the facts. Fresno's CCIS can get you up to a 26% discount on your car, homeowners, and life insurance needs. Call 320-2247 or go to ccisinsurance.com.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Hello, I'm Shelley at Horn Photo, and it's time to do more with your pictures. Get those images out of your camera, off your computer, and rescued from deep within your phone, and turn them into memorable photo keepsakes and gifts. Here at Horn Photo in Fresno, we have many wonderful photo items that we produce in-house, and we're here to help you find your individual style. So now's the time. Stop by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at Blackstone and East, or visit us online at hornphoto.com to explore the possibilities.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Valley Prime. All right, we're going to continue our conversation with Josh Wright about wine. And Josh, I want to talk to you and ask you about legs. Now, we're not talking about legs, but legs for wine. What does that mean?
So legs occur when you have wine in your glass and you do the classy swirl, right?
Okay.
And so what will happen is, as you swirl the wine, once you stop swirling, you'll see that the wine kind of goes down the glass very, well, sometimes slowly and sometimes quickly.
Right.
What you deduce from that is alcohol, actually. So you were talking about alcohol content earlier. So a higher alcohol wine, meaning more sugar, more alcohol involved, will be what we call viscous. So it'll be a little thicker, and it will move down the glass very slowly.
Interesting.
Whereas a lower alcohol wine will be a little bit thinner, and that one will go down the glass very quickly.
All right. Now, that's interesting. Now, how about something called tannin? I don't know what that means. What is tannin?
Tannin is the wine geek word for dry. Everyone's heard of a dry wine versus a sweet wine.
Yeah.
Sucking it out of your mouth there. So a dry wine, essentially, tannins come from 2 places.
Okay.
The skins of the grapes and also from the oak that the wine ages in.
Okay.
Both of those will contribute to that overall sensation. So a low tannin wine tends to be higher in acid. Now, acid will give you that juicy, mouth-watering sensation, whereas the tannins will obviously be dry and sucking the moisture out of your mouth. And what most wineries tend to shoot for is that perfect balance between acid. It's actually threefold. It's acid, alcohol, and tannin. If all those are in balance, then you have an exceptional wine.
Wow. I'm kind of curious. So we see, traditionally corks are what people use to close the bottles up. But lately I've seen some overseas wines in New Zealand, Australia, and places that use like a screw cap. Do you have any comments about that?
Yeah, plenty. And it seems to be an issue where a lot of people have comments about it. Everyone's got their opinion on screw cap versus cork. But the facts are the screw cap is an excellent closure for wine. There is something in corked wines or wines that are under cork that they call cork taint. And that is where the cork, which grows from the cork tree, can actually have a fungus in it, and it will negatively affect the wine. At one point in, I think, the 1970s, 1 in 12 bottles had cork taint. So it's that's a big loss, financial loss for the wineries, and a loss for the consumer that buys a nice bottle and it ends up that it's ruined.
And they can't go to the free clinic for that. So
No. It's hard to take back wine after you've opened it to the store as well. And so when...
What? They don't believe you?
So when kind of out of that, as a reaction to that, they started looking for other closures, and the Stelvin, or screw cap, Stelvin's the other word for that closure, was introduced. And a couple interesting things about that closure is that when you open the wine, in corked wines, that wine will stay good for 2 to 3 days. But in a screw cap bottle, it can stay good for up to 5 days. So it's kind of nice for people that only want one glass a night to be able to have that and still know that they're going to come back to a really nice bottle of wine.
Nice. And I've noticed that they have also like an imitation cork.
Right. Those are, synthetic corks, just plastic. And those tend to be very successful because they do avoid, as I was talking about, that cork taint. So it's similar, but those wines will still go down the hill, as so to speak, in 2 to 3 days.
Now, real quickly, let's talk about box wine versus store wines versus, is there different grades of wine that we can look at?
Certainly. I think box wine is safely on the bottom of the pile. I think that one's had its place there firmly cemented. And then would be probably what you would think of as grocery store wine, or wines that you can find in Save Mart and Vaughn's.
That's not like Ripple or anything, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
And there's plenty of great wines to find in the grocery store. And then you would move up into more what we call boutique wines, and those will be low production wines that have the greatest care in their winemaking and in their vinifying.
More expensive too.
Yeah, quite so.
All right,
quite so.
Now, before we sign off for the evening, you work at the tasting room, so tell everybody a little bit, our viewers, what is the tasting room?
The tasting room is a really, really cool spot. It's kind of a classy, casual vibe. We are a wine bar and retail shop. And it's just a great place to come with a couple of friends, or just to come and sit at the bar and chat about wine. And we are right next to Eureka Burger, so we're really easy to spot with the giant exclamation point right next to our business. And we try to provide an environment that's comfortable and that people are not intimidated by, but also a place that you can look nice and feel like you're in a kind of a classier spot.
And you guys play music and have some great food.
Yeah, on the weekends we have live music from 7 to 10 o'clock. We're trying to do as many events as we can because we just enjoy getting people in our shop and helping them have a great time and a great experience.
It's absolutely a wonderful venue. So if you've never tried it, Tasting Room, it's on Palm and Nice in the shopping center there where GB3 and Daily Grill is. So, and then you get to see this wonderful guy right here.
That's right.
So stay tuned, everybody, for next week's show. And on Valley Prime, we'll have some great lineup waiting for you. Bob Abrams from Pascuzzi Moore, a law firm, will be talking about reverse mortgages. So that'll be interesting. Otherwise, I bid you farewell and good night.
Confused about Medicare? Are you just becoming eligible for Medicare benefits? Or are you losing your retiree health coverage? Let us help. Kirby Insurance Services is licensed and trained to help you find a health plan that best suits your needs and, more importantly, your budget. Kirby Insurance Services proudly represents numerous Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement companies offering a variety of insurance products. Located at Van Ness and Olive in the Mike Briggs Properties Building in the Tower District, Kirby Insurance Services will help you navigate through your healthcare options. Call 559-824-0110 to schedule a no-cost insurance review or speak with a licensed broker. Again, that number is 559-824-0110.
CentralValleyTalk.com